First was Keir Starmer right to accept free accommodation worth tens of thousands so his son could study for his GCSEs. 020 7862 2222 is the number. The Prime Minister had to defend taking freebies once again yesterday after being grilled over the use of a property owned by Lord Alli around the election. Now there he is, Wahid Ali, Labour peer who's become a figure of controversy after buying more than £16,000 of clothes for Keir Starmer and his wife Victoria and receiving a Downing Street security pass. Also glasses involved, so it was known as glasses for passes or passes for glasses. And this is what Sir Keir had to say about taking Lord Alli's flat in a tense standoff with Beth Rigby of Sky News.
We had a situation where the election was called. My son happened to be in the middle of his GCSEs. That means there are a lot of journalists outside the front door. So I said, we're going to get you out of here and get you somewhere where you can just study and get to school and back without having to go through all of that. And that's when someone said, well, in which case, I can make this flat available to you.
Do you get how it looks?
If you're putting to me, Beth, that I should have stayed in my Kentish Town home and disrupted my son's GCSEs, that was the right thing to do, then I think you should put that to me.
So there was a twist in the tale last night. It appeared that Keir Starmer filmed this 2021 COVID message from Lord Alli's penthouse, complete with family photos in the background, his family. Downing Street say no COVID guidance was broken. He's also thought to have filmed next one. I don't know if those are his pots or not, but this was his tribute to the late Queen Elizabeth after her death in 2022. So, yeah, I'd love to know what you think about this, actually, because you could say, well, listen, I mean, going and staying somewhere is no big deal. It's not, you're not getting anything out of it except a bed for the night. This is the actual apartment, and then we've mocked up an ad here. If you're Lord Alli and you're trying to get people into the apartment, you say, look, it's worth, this is what he paid apparently 4 years ago, just over 18 million. Isn't that in its own way amazing? 18.35. Details, 3 bedrooms, 2 dressing rooms, 2 terraces, games room, place to record COVID announcement. Free to Labour leaders, no journalists. And the rent between 29th of May and the 13th of July this year, when Starmer stayed there, would have been 20,500 unless you're leader of the Labour Party, in which case it's nothing. So there we go. Alli Apartments. There they are. Right? Is there anything wrong with it? Maybe there's nothing wrong with it. I'm getting confused by this, Darryl. I'm thinking, are we going to charge him for get cross because someone's bought him a pair of shoes or what? I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is getting out of hand, to be honest.
Do you?
I do, and I think it's almost becoming a bit of a media story, actually, in so much as, look, our media economy demands some level of chaos. We need it, right, for clicks and for, people aren't paying for news anymore, so we need to get them to come to our websites and click and things. And people like outrage and chaos, and the media likes outrage and chaos. And I think that's kind of where we are with this story. And I think there's a couple of elements to it which sort of mean that it isn't, it's not packing a punch as a scandal, which is that there's the child element, right, which is, he was, I was just researching, in April this year, 3 protesters were arrested for protesting outside Keir Starmer's house. You can imagine how intense a goldfish bowl that is, an intense an experience that is for his 2 children, particularly when one of them is going through their GCSEs. So there's that element of it. He's
got
as well.
Serious security, though. He's never going to get burgled for the rest of his life.
I don't necessarily know if that matters. Actually, I think the fact of the matter is, if you're trying to revise for your GCSEs, if there is a hint of somebody outside of your house, etc. Plus, when you're in an election campaign like that, there's going to be loads of people coming and going from the house. It's going to be, it's going to be an intense environment. The other thing which is a problem for this story, and for Lord Alli, aside from the Downing Street pass that he got for the transition period, is that there doesn't appear to be really anything that Lord Alli is getting in return. A government contract, say, or some favourable treatment here and there. Not least because he's already a member of the House of Lords. He actually is in Parliament. He's a parliamentarian.
What do you think of this, Dawn?
In many ways.
I think this is the Barnard Castle eye test moment as far as excuses go. I think the fact that he needed to borrow this luxury apartment, which is very well pointed out there, is rubbish. I mean, you know, are there no other relatives that the Starmer family have that, you know, their lad could go and revise, you know, libraries, anywhere. I mean, it just reeks to high heaven. And the dates of the stay don't add up to when Starmer's boy was taking his exams and revising for his exams. I mean, the dates of the stay, 29th of May to the 13th of July, where the first GCSE exam was the 9th of May and the final one was the 19th of June. So the period doesn't tie in either. So I think I don't know why he's done it. I think it's a stupid move, and I do think it's important, especially when you have got this government taking money away from the most vulnerable in our society. I know we're going to talk about this later, but with the winter fuel payment, meanwhile, they are getting all the freebies under the sun. As Beth Rigby, in that excellent interview, said, the optics of this are completely wrong. And Starmer, in his arrogance, didn't seem to understand that it looked wrong.
Is it bad to stay at some... I can see if you accept glasses from Wahid Ali and you wear them around the election, that's probably a bad thing. You know, if you've got these sort of Dame Edna Everage glasses that would have cost a bomb. When you're staying somewhere, I'm not sure what benefit you're getting. What are you getting? You're getting heating and lighting or what?
Well, so why stay there?
Well, yeah, but why get angry about it? I mean,
because it's not fair. It's really
who's it not fair on?
It's not fair on the ordinary people who cannot use these privileges and these freebies. And then they are being told, we are being told, Dale, to tighten our belts. It's going to be tough. Things are going to get tough. This budget is going to be terrifying. Meanwhile, they are staying in luxury penthouses. They're going on holiday to New York. They're getting their clothing. Come on, this is not right.
It's nearly all Wahid Ali, isn't it? And it's all very well you saying, Darryl, oh, he's in the House of Lords, so it's fine. He's somehow insinuated his way into the heart of the government, this guy.
I don't necessarily think that he's in the House of Lords and so therefore it's fine. The problem with these stories is you are not, as journalists, demonstrating to me a clear enough conflict of interest. If, for example, as we had seen quite repeatedly during the COVID crisis, for example, people who had lent money to the Conservative Party or had donated to the Labour Party, getting contracts, getting really obvious returns on their investments, something like a cash for honours situation.
That was completely and utterly
wait a minute. That's fine. That's when it becomes a conflict of interest. The problem with this story is fella uses friend's flat. It really...
What if Wahid Ali wants the law changed? Let's say
Hold on. This is nothing about me not liking this government. I dislike the previous government just as much. I wanted this government to come in and be different. I wanted the change they were promising us. Instead, I'm getting exactly the same level of hypocrisy, of taking freebies, all the things that the Labour government accused the Conservative government of doing wrong. They are doing the self-same things. That is what I'm angry about.
Let's take a call. Guys, Lynn is in Suffolk. Hi, Lynn. Hey, Lynn.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, very much so. What do you think?
Well, I wonder who's running the government, actually, because Lord Alli has got a special pass, goes straight into Downing Street. I think he's the first person who hasn't got any title within the government to actually be given access like that. And along with Sue Gray, who is running the country. If it's Lord Alli and Sue Gray, I am actually quite delighted because he's a successful businessman. Perhaps he's going to do really, really well working with Rachel Reeves. I don't know. But I think it stinks like rotten fish. You don't do that. And as Dawn said so concisely, the times don't even match up for his son.
But we're trying to work out if for it to be worrying, Wahid Ali has to be given something, and probably something more than the pass. Now, if he owned a chain of newsagents,
that's like gold dust. That's like gold dust, Jeremy.
Yeah, but floating around Downing Street.
When he got in there.
Okay.
Was he floating around? We don't know what he was doing there. If Beth Rigby had pursued it, well, what was Lord Alli actually doing in Downing Street? Why did he require a pass? Why was he given a pass? You know, that is a private residence. Last of all, first of all, it's a seat of government. He's been given unique access, as I understand it, into the seat of government.
Okay.
And there's Sue Gray as well, and who's supposed to be totally impartial when she did her report. Everyone said she was, and lo and behold, as soon as she gets a sniff of a bit of money and access into Downing Street at the seat of power, she accepts it.
Yeah.
And Keir Starmer has the sense then to say, well, hang on a minute, you can't take up this post for at least a year. And do you remember? She couldn't take up
I do.
her,
Yes,
her
of course.
post for a year
She's a different case. I
because of the
suspect
bill.
she's probably not long for this world.
I don't think she is.
No. Thank you,
I
Lynn.
don't think
Oh,
she is.
you don't think she's a different case? Okay, thank you. Well, more to come. We'll see a little bit more from the Sky News clip now. And the moment Keir Starmer pushed back against Beth Rigby.
And Beth, I might just gently say, Sky invite us to quite a lot of hospitality events. Your summer party is a great party costing thousands of pounds, and you invite me every year. Presumably you want politicians to continue to come.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that, because then Sky could say, whoa, we saw you eating the canapes. An all point. By the way, so he's not younger than us. He's 62. And he's got a 13-year-old. So
62?
That's what I'm just told. Yeah.
No, he's younger than us. I'm sure he's not 62.
Well, I'm told, unless he was born in 62, but then he's still younger.
He's still, yeah.
The reason we're talking about this is because Dawn and I are basically exactly the same
We
age.
are
So
literally twins.
We just
Yeah,
compare
yeah.
people with
Same
each
day?
other. Yeah.
Really? Same day?
No, but
it's not.
we are thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah.
Linda in Tyne and Weir. Hi, Linda.
Oh, hello.
We're
Good
trying to
morning
work out,
to
is
you.
Keir Starmer actually 62? He looks younger than that. He was...
I beg your pardon, I didn't get that one.
Right, where's my thing that I never get these days? Sorry, Linda, are we putting you off? Are you watching the TV?
I beg your pardon, I didn't get I put that off, okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
turn it off and come back to us. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. And you?
Yeah, fine. What were we talking about? I can't remember. Is he wrong to accept the... Bring it in, Ella, bring it in. We've got to have it in from the start. Thank you.
Just
Okay.
about Keir Starmer and
Yep.
accepting freebies. I can't stand the man. I really do not like that man.
Why?
I detest him.
What I don't understand, they did a little word cloud where they said all the words associated with Keir Starmer, and the biggest single one was liar. And I'm thinking he's only been in less than 100 days.
Yes, I know, but I think he's a liar. I think what he's done to the working people, Labour is supposed to be for the working man, and I don't believe that at all. I think he's a liar and a cheat, just like Blair was. They're just all for themselves.
Get that word cloud, and I'm going to show it to you in the plasma in a second, and you could have a look at it. Okay, Linda, thank you. It's brutal world out there, isn't it? Carla in Gloucestershire, is he sinking under the weight of all these freebies?
Oh, actually, I have no objection at all to call Keir Starmer a liar when we've had Johnson lying through his back teeth for 14.
We keep getting this, but I don't think you can justify lying by saying somebody else is lying more than me. That's not how it works.
But Jeremy, what is he lying about? I mean, he's not lying at all.
He may not be a liar. I tell you what I think it is, Carla. I think it's that if you go through an election campaign and you do literally 200 interviews and you never mention that you know what you're going to do, you know you're going to cut the winter fuel payment and you never mention it, you're pretty close to lying.
Now, this is another thing that keeps coming up, Jeremy, and it drives me nuts. This winter fuel thing it will go to people who really need it. I promise you, they just need to know which benefits to apply for. I'm so fed up with people accusing him of this. Well, honestly, they will not go without heating.
But there are going to always be, if you cut it off, there are going to be people just above the line who really miss it. That's fundamentally it, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, I'm sure they can still get help, honestly.
Right.
It's just knowing the right channel.
So you've got faith in him and you don't think this latest thing of the free stay at the flat is a big deal?
I think he did the right thing for his son, and I think he's a good man. He's a jolly sight better than the 14 years of H-E-double-L we've had, Jeremy.
You could say hell. Thank you, Carla. Well done. Take care. Barbara in Wiltshire, hi.
Hi.
Are you angry about the free flat?
Yes, I am.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, then, because the last caller, as you heard, Carla was just not bothered.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think that he's expecting us to take all the merit measures, difficult measures, but he's not prepared to take any difficult measures himself. I voted for him because he said that he won't use his position, take advantage of his position and he would be, one of the people. Then you find that he's doing nothing but taking advantage.
OK, Barbara, thank you. Thank you. One more. Joan in Tyne and Weir, hi. Joan? No, she's not there.
No, Joan.
She's gone.
No, Joan.
Oh, Joan.
I don't think anybody knows why they're angry about this. I think people are. I think there's another thing we have to be careful with here, which is moralising, right, around these things, because nobody's ever going to want to go into public life again. If Rishi Sunak can't turn up at a meeting without being accused of being in a lockdown breaking party, or Keir Starmer can't borrow a friend's flat without this being a major scandal for a couple of weeks, then nobody's ever going to want to go into public life ever again.
Thank you for all your calls. Later we'll be asking.